Works okay. So looking at different parts to need to replace, you can just put power back and forth and kind of wiggle these guys from different sides. So like if I go down here or to the top one, this one doesn't seem too bad. This one that goes to the minute hands on the front, we had to take a lot of material off. I mean, you can see it wiggling right there when I move it. We took quite a bit of material off to get that pivot, which is what goes to the brass plate. Took quite a bit off to make it smooth again. I think this clock just got a lot of use, you know. So I see another one. Let's see, this is, so that's S2. So probably just the one, well, nope, looks like maybe T3 on the front. T2, T3 front. Just taking notes, so, because I don't want to write anything on the brass plates. We'll clean them up later, but I don't want to have to worry about any of that. These guys, the big, powerful ones, they'll have springs and barrels. And these guys, and they look okay. Nothing crazy. So you just keep doing this, looking at all the different ones. You can see this is T3, so it connects to this minute hand. So this is the hour pipe will go over it and some other stuff. But then it goes on to T3. Some of them have like an intermediate wheel and stuff. And so this will be a completely separate one. This guy right here, he'll go off in his own way. And compared to these other guys, but this one, they actually connected. This is a Gustav Becker movement. And the Germans were very proficient in their engineering, we'll say. But you see that guy wiggling? You actually can see it pretty good. It's moving. It's just, there's just way too much. So we're gonna have to cut that out. Put in a new bushing. So that's like drilling through the plate, putting a new bushing, little brass, squeeze it in, it'll be good. Final one. We're just reaming it out. Got a chart over here. So we need a 40 now. 49. So this is my dad's clock shop. I help him out in here sometimes. He started teaching me this stuff when, I don't know what, around, what is it, I was graduated from high school probably when I started helping him, but just shortly thereafter. And in about 20 years, and I still help him out sometimes. Alright, just hammer that in right there. It's a little raised. Let's much better. You would not believe how expensive this machine is. Something Swiss. They're pretty crazy. But so right there is the one we replaced. Got this. You want a little bit of tilt to it. There, you can see it in the back there. So there we go. One more to do. Already did the S3 over here. So we replaced this one and this one on the back plate. Now we got to do the one on the front plate. And that is that one right here. With just about anything, you want to take copious notes. And you're not going to work. I have to move this one out. What about this one? That'll work. So for like these, all three of the wheels that needed bushings replaced on one side, all three of them were on the pinion side. So you already, if you need to be able to find it, also helps because both sides can be different sizes, and you don't want to get any of that wrong. Because if the bushings are too tight, you got to ream out the insides a little bit with some cutting broaches. Which for these guys, they cut them out, and you don't want too much taken out. So, and then you got a smoothing broach. These are circular. The cutting broaches are like squares. It's not difficult. It's just you gotta really make sure about certain things before you just go ahead and do it. This bushing system my dad bought, it seems like it almost seems a little janky, but it's honestly, it's a great tool. The last few clocks I've had to do, I haven't had to replace any bushings. I'm not sure if some clocks just have a softer brass, or if maybe some old clocks just got a lot of use for them to get so much wear. But these old German clocks, American clocks, doesn't really matter what nationality the clocks are from. They every clockmaker went and did a whole lot of experimentation. So you'll get all kinds of variants, but they all look very similar. Alright, I got another number 11. See right there, Dad's got this nice tool. So the number 11, this is to a 1.5 millimeter plate, or something like that. Yeah, 1.5. And so it's going to be the size 11 bushing, and with the cutting tool, you are going to end with the 2.97. But we start 2 sizes smaller as we ream. So 2.97. So we're starting with a 1.97, go up to a 2.47, and end with a 2.97. If you're wondering why they're 0.97s or 47s, is because the bushing is that 0.03 bigger than what you're cutting, so that when you push them in, the bushings are pressure fit into the plate. This one's taking a little bit of effort. I'm going to try using this other tool real fast. Might help me. It seems that that bushing hole is a little too tight for that to really get in there and cut. There we go. That's a first. I've never had to do that before. But you just keep going until you get it. Yeah, I'm glad that worked. Last one. So you don't want any oils from your hands to get on these, so you got to use some little tweezers. So I always like working with my hands. These clocks, not always my favorite to work on. They can be very aggravating, but I love doing mechanical stuff. Like right now I'm working on my car a lot as well. Perfect. And I've been having an oil pressure issue, but I can't find the problem anywhere. So I've been playing with that quite a bit. Still drives in limp mode, it's fine. But right now, like I just cleaned up the oil pickup tube earlier. And it was cleaned it out, seemed fine. I didn't have any big chunks or anything in there. And so when we're here, we already got like these, but just in case for all of them that take, we're going to take one of these and we're just going to chamfer the inside of each one just a little bit. So. Start here at the bottom. It doesn't have to be a lot. This is the front plate. That's why that seems weird to me. Just a little bit. Kind of, when the bushings are in there, it kind of helps maybe a little bit of oil, or if there's any burrs or anything anywhere. Okay, so that one. This guy up here. Definitely helps quite a bit to have worked on quite a few clocks, because otherwise this would be extremely confusing to most people. Like knowing which holes to go look for and which ones might be screws, which holes might not be anything at all, and which ones are important and actually might need something. So like these four in the corner are all the post holes. These big guys are your main springs are on the arbors. Those they're just too big for me to do anything to, so I'm not going to mess with those. And then we got this, so we're going to go S1, S2, S3, yeah, I'm not crazy. S3 on the back plate got replaced by a bushing, so it took me a second. S3, S4, S5, and the flywheel, which is S6. Got all those. Okay, so we're going to start on the time side again. So we got T2 here. T3, which is the one the minute hands go on and everything on the dial. T4, T5. T5 is going to be your escapement wheel. And then over here on the top one, you're going to have a verge that goes back and forth hitting that escapement, which is what gives you the ticking sound on your clock. And then just real quick, I got to do the strike side. Almost left that alone. So we got S1, S2. These holes over around here are for the hammers on the back that we took off. S2, S3, S4, S5, S6. Get that one a little bit better. There we go. All right. So, put that tool back. And I'll be back. Alright, so I'm going to go to the bushings I replaced, which on the front plate is just that one. That is too big. How about this one? You just kind of go through the drawer until you find the right one, you know? Too big. Well, this little guy. That'll work. And so I know this is a fresh new bushing, but still, just in case, we're going to smooth it out. All of the wheels, when you put them in, they were loose enough in there. They had enough of a slight wobble and they could spin on their own. Like, I'll show you real quick. So that's this guy on the pinion. You can spins freely. That one might actually have a little bit too much wobble, but it's really not bad. Like, it spins freely. And then this guy right here. Like, when I look in there, there's barely any space. It's fine. It's going to work just fine. And so smooth out that one. Now these two, we got this one and this one. especially after we ream those corners, it definitely helps to get in there. Just, you don't want any burrs of any kind to potentially cause parasitic drag on those when they're spinning under power, because if it's stealing power anywhere in the drivetrain going up these wheels, it's going to cause issues later when you're reassembling and trying to run it on the test stand. You don't want any of that. All right, so all that's done. No, I really need to do the rest of them. I want to make sure. I'm pretty sure I already did all of these before, but really, this is just a project clock, but it doesn't really matter to me. Project clock or customer clock. You always want to do things the right way. Because my dad, he might sell it. Probably will. Probably trying to get rid of a lot of clocks. Which I kind of suggest. My dad's getting a little older. And, you know, I told him, you know, you don't want to get to the point of time and later in life where we're stuck with trying to figure out what to do with all this stuff or even how to price it. And it would be really helpful, you know, if that day and time comes, and I don't want it to happen, but for things to be a little easier for the family to take care of matters. And he's understanding, and we have a good relationship. And he said that's pretty much his plan. He's already kind of working on going through his projects and getting things a little simpler around here. I mean, I'll show you the shop here in a moment, but there's a lot of clocks. There are a lot of clocks in here. And I don't know if you can hear in the background, but there's plenty of ticking. We returned one clock, so it's a family friend of ours. We went over, had a surprise birthday for my mom. And, well, her and the guy's wife, they both have birthdays. My mom's was on the 12th on Tuesday. His wife's birthday is on the 18th. So it just worked out perfect. And cooked a bunch of food. We were all very full. Had a little bit of beer. Had some old fashions. Man, he could make a good old fashioned. We just had a good time. And got to take the clock back over there as well. And so that was a Chinese movement. I mean, honestly, of all the countries, I probably wouldn't buy a movement like one of these, like actual spring or anything. Probably would not want to buy like a China-made clock, but he actually has a business in China. That's how he met his wife and all that. So, I don't know. He probably just bought it for his wife or the house or something. I don't know how it works, but it doesn't matter. We fixed it anyways. It actually was not bad at all. It had a spring break on it at one point. Just quality of materials over there is just not the same, right? So these German clocks, because that Chinese clock is new compared to these. Like this Gustav Becker German clock, this thing I think is like 1880s, 1890s. No, my dad doesn't have a date on it, but I can tell you it's old. It is really old. Show you. So this is our nice little clock shop. That's an old French clock. We got all kinds of clocks over there. This one right here, that white one, very porcelain and stuff. I just repaired that one. It's running fine. All those ones on the wall probably aren't anything special. They're just porcelain. They look nice. Mantle clocks. This one. So those ones don't have movements, but we'll look for them eventually. This one is super cool. It's powered by its own weight as it rolls down. We do not know how to fix it yet, but we want to work on that one because that's super cool and unique. Got all these old ones. Just more and more clocks, you know. And this is the one that this came out of that I'm working on right now. My dad got some antique glass. Somebody replaced it with plexiglass here. So we're just we'll install it. It'll be fine. This is a project clock, I believe, that my dad fixed, and he's working on it constantly. Oh, look, he's torn apart another clock. More projects. Look at that. All right. Just look at all these. This used to be mercury filled on the weight down here. It's not anymore, so it's actually safe for you. Look at that. That is just beautiful. Got the horse up there. And I'll show you something else fascinating. I've got a radioactive, like, checks radioactive. So these aircraft clocks over here, non-radioactive. These 5 over here, oh boy. And this big one right here being the most. But even at this, you can have at the most you can if it was giving you a full dose body rate, you could work on that as a nuclear worker for 2,000 hours a year before a nuclear worker wouldn't be able to work around it anymore. And but if you're just working with your hands, those radioactive clocks, it's the glow-in-the-dark paint on those aircraft clocks. You don't have to worry about any of that, really. It's a lot lower dose. Like, you're just getting your hands and stuff. And you can work on it probably the whole year, every day. And just think, all the pilots that have been in aircraft, like military aircraft and stuff, with sitting next to that. Even if they were doing 2,000 hours a year or more, they never got any harmful effects from it. And the biggest danger, actually, so if anybody's into old clocks, especially they want radioactive ones and stuff like that, the biggest danger with those old clocks is that paint gets really old and crumbly and flakes. So you don't, ingesting it could be a whole different thing compared to, you know, working on it, but breathing it in or ingesting it, that if you crack the case, or there's a crack in the dial glass anyways, if you can contaminate an area with that radioactive material. So that is probably one of the biggest concerns, would be contaminating the area, breathing it in, ingesting it by accident. So I would be careful. If anybody out there gets those radiated old aircraft clocks, you need to be careful with it and know what you're dealing with if you're going to do it. I know that they probably would sell for more. You know, people love that stuff. But yeah, anyways, let me get back to this clock. Alright, so show you what we're going to do. Now, my dad probably wouldn't think it needs to be cleaned again. Maybe he would, but I want to clean this again before doing the final assembly. So we're going to go put it in this ultrasonic cleaner for an hour. Pretty much all the little pieces get put in, they all get a nice cleaning. This ultrasonic cleaner is super nice. Why? What? That's a first. What is going on? There we go. All right. It's always been on before, so this is different. Let me show y'all. So. Handy to have the sink next to it. So, just put it in. Give you a look from the top. So it covers it up entirely. Set the temperature. I'm going to set it to probably about 50. I believe this, yeah, it's Celsius. I'm going to try and get it to 50 Celsius. In an hour, it might get up to like 40. But, you know, who cares? It'll be fine. Alright, it's going to get loud, so I'm not going to play the audio. I'll probably do a time lapse for you here in a view. Take it out the cleaner. Rinse it off with water. And then we use the air compressor. And the air compressor is what's going to get loud. So. So me and my dad are both veterans. He's a retired chaplain. I was a couple different things. So is he actually. But anyways, so he likes to use his old calf hat to kind of trap the heat. We're going to put that on for an hour and a half. And when we come back, we're going to start reassembling.